Today we are going to be talking about solving equations that involve fractions. So I'm going to do the same examples that are in your notes so you guys can follow along and kind of see it in a little bit of a different way. So the first example is that Grandpa has enough gift certificates to give the same number to each of his 4 grandchildren. After Grandpa gives them the gift certificates, each grandchild has 5 gift certificates. How many gift certificates does Grandpa have? So the first thing we need to do in part A is to write an equation to represent the problem. So for that, we need to, first of all, come up with a variable. So I'm going to let n equal the number of certificates. And then I need to come up with that equation. So I know that he has some number of gift certificates. I don't know how many. And he has 4 grandchildren. So we're going to take our number of gift certificates, n, and we're going to divide that by 4. And I know that once that happens, every single one of those students is going to, grandchildren is going to get 5. So I know that however many he has divided by 4 is going to give me 5 overall. So the next thing I have to do is I need to solve the equation. So that's part B. Now, really, this is the same as everything that we've been doing thus far. N divided by 4, we need to get that n all by itself. We don't want anything else on the same side of the equal sign as that. So I need to think about what is happening between the n and the 4, what operation. And so I know that that fraction line means divide. So I need to do the opposite of dividing. And the opposite of dividing is multiplication. So the way that I often write this is I'm going to say I'm going to multiply this side by 4. And what I do to one side, I always have to do to the other. So this side is also going to be multiplied by 4. Now, we saw when we were dividing that when I have 4 over 4, that simplifies to 1. So this is really the same thing. So I have 4 over 1, and that 4 kind of goes onto the top. So this actually looks, if I were to do the fraction math going on here, I would have 4n over 4 equals, and 5 times 4 is 20. So when I do that fraction math, that 4n and 1 times 4, remember when we multiply fractions, we multiply straight across, is going to look like this. And then I have that 4 over 4 like we have been working with. We know that is going to simplify to 1. So I can write it as 1n or just n if you're being a good lazy mathematician. And all the math is already done on this side. So I'm going to say equals 20. Now, in terms of what you need to show me in your work, I don't necessarily need to see this step. If you have that you multiplied by 4 and multiplied by 4, that makes me happy. That's all I really need. If this makes you feel better to see that step every time so it keeps it organized in your brain, please show me that step. Whichever works best for you works best for me. I want you to stay organized and I want you to be able to do this. So the last part is to verify. Verify just means make sure you get the right answer. So I'm going to take and part C, I'm going to start with my original equation, n over 4 equals 5. And I'm going to substitute this 20 in and make sure that my left side equals my right side. So 20 divided by 4 equals 5. 20 divided by 4 is definitely 5. Remember, if you need to use a calculator or a times table, please grab it. 100% is a-okay by me. 5 is equal to 5. That makes good logical sense. So we are going to give that a check mark and say we have the correct answer. So example number 2. The school's student council sold t-shirts for charity. So they're selling t-shirts to take all the proceeds and give it to a charity. The council bought the t-shirts in boxes of 40. The student council added $6 to the cost of each t-shirt, and each t-shirt sold for $26. What did the student council pay for one box of t-shirts? So again, first thing we need to do is we need to write that equation. So I am going to say, just to follow your notes and not change anything up, we are going to let C equal the cost of a box, okay, of the box of t-shirts. So that means when I'm going to be making this equation, I know that there are 40 t-shirts in a box. So the cost of the box divided by the total number of t-shirts, so cost divided by the 40 t-shirts in there, that's how much they pay per t-shirt. Then they're adding money. So that $6 per shirt is what they're going to give to charity. So that plus $6 is going to give the overall cost of our t-shirt. So equals 26. Okay? So however much they paid for the full box divided by the total number of t-shirts in that box plus the $6 they add gives me that cost $26 that they're selling it to the students of the school for. So that is part A. I guess part A also involves solving it. So let's solve this. This is going to look the same as when we were solving previously. So we want to get that C, that variable, all by itself. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to get rid of this pesky plus 6. And that means I need to do the opposite of adding 6, which is subtraction. So I'm going to subtract 6 on this side. And what I do to one side, gotta do to the other. Subtract 6 over here. So I'm going to take a moment and we're going to write this out. So C over 40, this here, that becomes a 0. Okay, plus 6 minus 6, that zeroes out. So I'm going to have C over 40 equals 26 minus 6 gives me 20. So now we're left with this fraction. Right now we are dividing by 40. I need to undo that. The opposite of dividing is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply this side by 40. And what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Multiply this side by 40. So when I have this, these two 40s are going to cancel each other out or become 1. So I'm left with just C. C equals 20 times 40. This may be a calculator question for you, and that is A-okay. Grab that calculator out. Make sure you type in your numbers correctly. 20 times 40 is going to give you 800. So the student council paid $800 for that one box of t-shirts. Part B asks us to verify the solution. So we're going to take this answer we got, plug it into our original equation, make sure the left side and the right side are the same. So my original equation is C over 40 plus 6 equals 26. My C value that I found is 800, so I'm going to plug that in. 800 divided by 40 plus 6 equals 26. 800 divided by 40, plug that in your calculator, it's going to spit out 20 plus 6. And last but not least, 20 plus 6 is going to give me 26 equals 26. So I have done my math correctly and I know that I have the correct answer. Now this verify is really important because it allows us to know when we do a test or a hand-in assignment that every single one of my answers is 100% correct. If you are not doing the verify, you can do a silly thing over here that you might catch and get a wrong answer and you would never know. So this is actually a unit where you could know 100% if you got the right answer every time. you guys have some practice questions there. We're going to continue on and we're going to do more practice questions tomorrow. So there's no new video for tomorrow. If you have any questions, let me know and I'd be happy to help you out.